Hi besties, it's your girl So with Somi. So on today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how I made this stylish jacket that you can pair with a trouser or you can equally pair it with a skirt. So it is beginners friendly, and if you want to know how I achieved this using 1 yard of Ankara fabric, do not skip any part of this video and do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Now for this tutorial, I made use of Ankara fabric. Like I said, I used 1 yard and I folded my fabric into two. So I'll be coming down 9 inches for my chest line. Then I'll be marking 16 inches, which is for my waistline. Now for the full length of the top is 22 inches, so we are cutting out the back first. So the next thing I'll mark is my shoulder. So my shoulder is 7.5. Since this is a sleeveless jacket, I took out 1 inch, so I mark 6.5 on the starting line and 6.5 on the chest line, and I'll connect the two. So we are using the freehand method, no pattern paper. Now after that, I'll take a neck width of 3 inches and 1 inch for the back neckline, and I'll connect from the neck width to the depth. After that, I'll measure what I have there. I'll come down 1 inch for my shoulder slope and I'll connect to the neck width. On the chest line, I'm going to divide my round bust by 4, which is the 6 divided by 4 give you now. I curved out my armhole. Now on the waistline, I'll divide my round waist by 4, which is 28 divided by 4 give you 7. Now I'll add my stitching allowance of 1.5 inches both on the chest line and on the waistline. So on the full length of the top, I'll be marking my round hip measurement, which is 40 divided by 10 will give you 40 divided by 4 will give you 10. I added my stitching allowance of 1.5 inches. So all we have to do now is just to connect. So we are just drafting out a basic bodice. So I like to do this for my bestie so that everybody will follow along, so nobody will get confused. Now on the side of the seam line, I'll come up by 1 inch and I'll connect. So this is just to give it a little curve at the hem, and this is all. This is it. We're done drafting out. So the next thing we're going to do now is just to cut out our fabric. So guys, if you have watched up to this point and you've not given me a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you guys so much. So guys, do not forget to give me a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, like I always say, you're free to ask your questions on the comment section. I'm available. So after cutting this is what the back looks like. So I'm just going to keep this aside so that we can just draft out our front piece. So we are not using a pattern paper for this. So I folded another fabric into two, and I've marked out 2 inches for my button allowance. So just like we did for the back, I'll be coming down 9 inches for my chest line, 16 inches for my waistline, and for the full length is 22 inches, so that the front and the back will match. So this is it here. Now I will take the same shoulder measurement of 6.5 inches. I will mark the same 6.5 inches on the chest line and I'll connect. So we are doing the freehand method. Now for the neck width, I made use of 3 inches for the neck width, and the depth is 3 inches for the front piece. So I'll connect from the neck width. So after rolling out, I'll connect from the neck width to the neck depth. Now I'll come down 1 inch for my shoulder slope and I'll connect it to the neck width. So I'll measure what I have left on my armhole. I have 8 inches, half of that is 4. On that point, I came in by half an inch. On the chest line, I'll divide my round bust by 4 and mark. This is after our button allowance. Please mark your measurement after the button allowance. And I'll connect the 3 points to cover up my armhole. So I'm adding 1.5 inches for my stitching allowance. On the waistline, I'll divide my round waist by 4. I'll mark and I'll add my stitching allowance. I'll do the same thing on the hip line. So we're repeating the measurements we did on the front, on the back for the front. The only difference now is that we have button allowance in front. So I'll connect the whole points together. So on the side, I'll be going up by 1 inch. We did the same thing for the back piece, and I'll reconnect. So this is our basic bodice. So now let's get into the business of the day. Now, so the next thing we're going to do now is I'll mark my button allowance, but before I do, I'll come down 4 inches. This is the length of the front piece. It will be longer by 4 inches. So this is my waistline, and from the waistline I'll come down by 2 inches. Are you guys seeing what I'm doing? But before we draft in more, I'll just remark my button allowance. So for the button allowance, I just want it to be 1 inch, so I'm marking 1 inches up to the 2 inches we came below the waistline. So the I wish that mine ended at the waistline, just like the one we are trying to recreate, but nevertheless it still came out fine. So from the waistline I came down 2 inches, and from the full length of the front I came down 4 inches. So watch carefully, guys. So now on that 4 inches point, I'll go in by 1.5 inches. Are you seeing it? So I'll connect it together. Now I'll connect from that 1.5 inches to meet the 2 inches below the neckline, the waistline, sorry, 2 inches below the waistline. So just watch what I'm doing, it is very easy. Now after that, I'll reconnect my lines. So the next thing now is to connect from that 1.5 inches to meet the length we have on the side, so that both the front and the back will match each other on the side while we are joining. Now this is what I have, so I will explain it again for you guys to understand. So on the waistline, which is this line, I came down by 2 inches. So this is where our button is going to be. Now on the waistline I came down 2 inches. After that, on the full length of the top, which is this line I'm pointing now, I came down 4 inches, and I went in on that point by 1.5 inches. Now from that 1.5 inches line, I connected it back to the 2 inches we came down below the waistline. Then I connected it to the full length. But if you still don't understand, ask me your question on the comment section and I will respond to each of your questions. So like I said, I wish that my button allowance ended on the waistline, so that the opening in front would be wider, just like the one we're trying to recreate. But I came like 2 inches below my waistline, but still it still came out fine. So if you want yours to end at just the waistline, just follow the same step. So what you have to do is that you're not going to come down 2 inches below the waistline, you're just going to maintain your waistline. So that is all. So I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So after cutting out, if I open it up and join it, so guys, this is what we are trying to achieve. Is it not looking like what we are trying to recreate? So this was what I was trying to explain. So I'll just go now, cut out lining for them and bring it back to show you. Now for the back piece, I've equally cut out a lining for it, and for this jacket it doesn't have a dart. The one we're trying to recreate does not have a dart. That's why I didn't add any dart to it. So all I have to do now is I'll place the lining and the main piece together this way. So we are closing all sides. So I'll close the neckline with half an inch, close the armhole with half an inch. We are not closing the shoulder, we are going to be turning it out from the shoulder. We are going to close the sides, close the lower part with half an inch. So whatever I do for the main piece, we are doing the same thing for the whatever I do for the back, we're doing it for the front. So this is for the front. I've equally cut out my lining for it. So I'm just going to open them up. So we are going to close the armhole, close the neckline, close the sides, and we are going to close the lower part, leaving the shoulders open. So I'm going to do all of that and bring it back to show you what I have. So after stitching down, this is what I have. I turned it out from the shoulder line, and I've equally marked out my measurements on the back piece. So this is what the back piece looks like, looking neat. And these are the two front pieces. So do you see how neat the inside looks? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'll be placing them right side facing each other. When I get to the machine, I'll arrange it properly, stitch the shoulders with half an inch, then close the side with the measurement I've already added. Then I'll do the same for the other side. So close the shoulders and close the sides. So I'll do all of that and bring it back to show you what I have. So after stitching, guys, this is what we have. So it's not an easy tutorial. Like, this is very easy tutorial and it is beginners friendly, like I said. So thank you guys so much for watching up to this point. This is us coming to the end of this tutorial. The next thing is just go add your buttons, the places you want to add your buttons, and I'm just going to weave the shoulder part, and that is all for this tutorial. So thank you guys so much. Do not forget to like, give me a thumbs up, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on my next video. Bye.